Jesus asked Peter a question, and he asked him the question more than once. And he said, Peter, lovest thou me more than these? And Peter says, yea, Lord, I love you. He said, Peter, lovest thou me more than these? Yes, I love you. Peter, do you love me more than you love these? And he was asking him this question because he was saying to him, do you love me more than you love fishing? Do you love me more than you love fishing? Or you love fishing more than you love me? Do you love this world more than you love me? Or do you love me more than you love this world? And he said, I love you. And Jesus said, well, if you do, feed my sheep. If you love me, sit here, glean, learn, and then help my sheep. Jesus already saw that after he would have been crucified, buried, all of the above, that Peter was going to go back and backslide into fishing. So Peter thought that Jesus was asking him about his love and dedication to him based on that day. It had nothing to do with that day. It had everything to do with another season. Because there will be a season when the Christ that you love will not be around you. Will not be around you. And the question will be will you still be loving them? Will you still be caring for them? And will you still be doing what you have committed to do with and for them? Lovest thou me more than these? So the point is not that you have not texted or you have not called. But what has distracted you, Peter, to the degree that in my absence, you have forgotten? And it's not that you literally forget. It is just that your mind is overtaken by other cares and things that you feel is important. So are those things more important than this thing? And Jesus was saying to him, are those things you're doing more important than me right now? So that's why he said, do you love me? And if you love me, then you will feed my sheep. If you love me, you will take care of what I have mandated you to do. But in order for you to effectively take care of my sheep in the future, you're going to have to love me more than what you want to be doing in this world right now. And Peter wanted to be fishing. Peter wanted to be fishing. Peter wanted to be carrying on his business. He wanted to be a successful man in the marketplace. And Jesus was saying to him, do you love me? 3 times he asked him, lovest thou me more than these? And Peter says, yes, I love you. Like, why are you asking me this so much? And Jesus said, well, you'll know. You'll see soon why I'm asking you. Then he said, feed my sheep. There's going to be so much distractions in your life because you've been called to serve God's prophets. You've been called to walk with God's prophets. You've been called to hold the hands of God's prophets. There's going to be so much cares, so much distractions, so much attacks of the enemy to get you so disfocused from that prophet or that apostle. Because it's not just about today, it's about tomorrow. It's about what that prophet shall become. It's where God is seeking to take that person. But if you take your eyes off of them, like Peter, you will walk with them in places, but you will sink. You will say, oh my God, Lord, if it's you, bid me to come. Oh my God, look at how the eyes were open. Look at how that leg grow out. Bid me to come. And when you start coming, you will find yourself sinking. Because why? You took your eyes off of Jesus for 1 minute. And that is the time that we're in. That is the hour we're in. It is an hour of distraction, where even the people that are supposed to be walking with the prophet and moving with the servants of God, they are distracted. So where we're supposed to take that person, where we're supposed to come to help and undergird for that person to go, you'll find out that they're not going. They're not able to go. Because why? There are no true servants anymore. There's no true honor anymore. The enemy begins to say, what you mean? You have to do this, you have to do that. This is important, that's important. So we miss the calling of that prophet or of that apostle because we begin to look at natural things and we become distracted like Peter by the winds and the waves and the cares of life. Like something snapped in his head. And when he began to walk on the water, oh my God, look at the waves. Look at the wind. Oh my gosh, I'm actually walking on water. He took his eyes off of Jesus for 1 second. He began to go under. And that is what happens. You will be around a powerful prophet. Many people have walked, like I have mentioned, and worked around the altar, worked in the office, worked in the bill. They've seen the miracles that you've seen. But because they took their eyes, and their eyes, hear this now, is not their physical sight. They took their vision, their mind, their heart was captivated for one sliver of a second. And that's when they became overtaken, captivated, and taken. So the prophet or the apostle has been given to you, but you've also been given to them. And that's why the word that went out was, are you an armor bearer, a cup bearer, a burden bearer, or a pall bearer? Are you an armor bearer, a spiritual armor bearer, cup bearer, burden bearer, or pall bearer? Are you helping to carry your leader, your pastor, your prophet, your apostle? Are you helping to carry them to their destiny? Or are you sent? Are you being used by the enemy to take them to their grave? Are you being used by the adversary to take them to their death, to their early death? Because when that prophet or that apostle, when that pastor cannot feel the strength of being undergirded by you and by your hands, not somebody else's hands, your hands. That means that pastor now has to bear his own burdens. And when he takes on his own burdens and the burdens of society and all the burdens of the church and all the burdens of the ministry, that pastor becomes cracked. And that cracking now leaves him a gateway for all manner of intrusions and all manner of parasites and all manner of attacks and sickness and disease and of all emotional traumas and all sorts of things that happen. That pastor will eventually succumb to their death. And you will look upon their gravestone and upon their legacy, and you will say, there went a great man of God. And many people will cry and say, there was a great prophet among us. Why? Because instead of people being spiritual armor bearers, cup bearers, burden bearers, they became pallbearers. They were carrying the coffin, carrying the pastor, ushering them, because they became distracted. That's why Jesus asked Peter, lovest thou me more than these? Peter, do you love me? That's what he asked him. Lovest thou me? Do you love me more than these? Do you love me more than your fishing boat, your fishing business, your personal venom? That's why prophets are not rising to the height or the depth where they should rise. Apostles are not rising because they don't have the people around them that will love them more than these. So it's a partial love. It's a partial love. When you're with me, I love you. When you're in the pulpit, I love you. When you laying hands on the sick, oh, I love you, prophet. How I love you, apostle. When you casting out demons, oh, truly thou art a prophet. When you say something that confirms something they wanted to hear, you are truly a prophet of God. My God. These are the responses you hear from people. But lovest thou me is the person Jesus was speaking to that has the spirit of the Christ. And that spirit of the Christ is that he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. That's why I said, let this mind, this stronghold, this belief system, let it be in you that was in Christ Jesus, who thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but humble himself and took on the form of a servant and became obedient. God sent him here to die. God sent Jesus here to die. Jesus humbled himself, even though he is God, the Son of God, and he became the Son of Man, knowing that he came here to die, knowing that his ministry will only last for 3 years, knowing that he would be separated from his Father for those 3 days. And it has never happened. So, what are you willing to give as a servant? Because you see, no man can serve 2 masters. You will hate one and love the other. You will cleave to one and you will despise the other. That's what the problem is in the church today. Not just my church, every church. Because no, I understand that all churches are not of God and all pastors are not called. But there are some that are. I'm not the only true prophet or apostle is the only true. But no, there are others. The word of the Lord came to Elijah and said, do you know many have not bowed their knees to Baal? Jezebel, he said, Elijah, you're not the only one. I have 100 right now in a cave that Obadiah hid that I have not eaten from the table of Jezebel. So what am I trying to say? But where are we? So the prophet will rise and the prophet will fly if the servants will die. The prophets will rise and the prophets and the apostles will fly if only the servants die. And that means that the servant has to die to themselves. You have to die to your own deceitful desires. To be a eunuch, to be a true servant is to be a spiritual eunuch, where you have life and you have everything that you want in life. but that thing does not have you. In other words, whatever you ask the Father for, He will give it and He will do it. But He don't want you to start going after it. Because when you begin to pursue it and go after it, that thing now becomes, lovest thou these more than me? This word from the Lord is not for carnal people or for carnal heirs. Because that carnal heirs will say, like that rich young ruler, Lord, you want me to go and take all that I have and sell it, and then after I sell it, you want me to give it to the poor? You want me to... surely this cannot be you, Lord. You want me to give my children over to you? I mean, I can understand Abraham doing that because, Abraham, he only had one, but you want me to give all of my children over to you? Lord, you forgot I have a wife or I have a husband. You forgot, Lord, that I have to make money? How are we supposed to serve you? With all our heart and all our strength and all of our desires. And what are we going to look like? What, Lord, surely, Lord, you don't mean all of us. And I don't understand. I mean, this is not what I envisioned. I don't mind being a Christian. I don't mind helping out around the church, and I don't mind serving the apostle now and then, and the prophet now and then, and doing a little something and doing whatever they ask me. But Lord, you want me to give all of me? Oh Lord. Lovest thou me more than these, Peter? That's what he asked him. Because this road of serving and servanthood, it calls for loving God more than all of these. Anyone who is willing to leave father, mother, sister, brother, for my sake, Jesus said, he shall receive in this life father, mother, sister, brother, 100-fold, and in the life to come, eternal life, with persecution. With persecution, which means the enemy is going to persecute you in all forms and different ways that you didn't imagine that you would be persecuted. Persecution is not just being talked about, people of God. Persecution is a level of rejection that you never dream in your life could happen to you. Persecution is when you know that you qualified or you have the money and you have the wherewithal to do something, but somebody is rejecting you and persecuting you just because they know you are standing for God. Persecution is people leaving you and walking out on you just because of your stance for God. So, lovest thou me? Jesus is speaking to Peter, but he's now speaking to all of you who call yourself a worker, a servant, a server, a armor bearer, a cup bearer, whatever you will see, they are only titles. A true servant is someone who serves regardless of whatever the circumstances is. Everyone who remains single, your eyes single, your body will be full of light. It is only when you become distracted and you begin to look over in the plains of Sodom like Lot did, and you begin to say, well, look at how much fun those people are having out there in the world. And I feel like I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this old church. I'm stuck in this. I'm going to be doing this all the rest of my life. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing all what I'm doing now in ministry for the rest of my life. I will always be in ministry, but this aspect of it, there's going to come a day When that globe will change. And even though I am here, the globe itself, God will spin the globe. You see, you never come out of him. But even though I am here, and based on me being here, and this location and this geographical location, I will forever be here with God. But sometime he will spin the globe. I am still here, but now, geographically, he has switched me to do something else in his kingdom. I'm still in the kingdom, but he will spin it. Now, my daughter, I want you to go to the Netherlands. And I want you to preach there in the Netherlands for 3 days. And then come back home. Now, I don't want you writing books right now. I want you to speak books right now. He begins to speak to you and give you instructions and downloads of changes and shifts and diversities of gifts so that you can excel in him. People of God, it is not what this world is presenting to you as a format, but it's rather what God is presenting to you as his format, as his divine will and purpose. I know the plans and the thoughts I have towards you. I know them, said the Lord, Jeremiah 29:11. I know what they are. Thoughts of peace and not evil. In other words, if you stay in alignment with me, you will come into the revelatory realm of my thoughts. I'm thinking about you, peaceful thoughts, to give you an expected end, the end I'm expecting you to have, says God. If you become distracted for 1 minute in this hour and take your eyes off of the Christ, you will sink like Peter. Because in that swift minute, there was a current working under the water that always existed. Even while Peter was walking on the water, there was a power, another power, a force that was called current. And even though the current is controlled by gravity to pull you down, that's why in the water, the gravity is so strong. But the same gravity is on earth. But on earth, because that's where we were given to dominate, listen to this. We don't get thrown down on the ground all day. Our dominion and our power is on the dirt, is over dirt. So even though gravity is on this dirt we are walking on, if we didn't have power over it to be able to stand upright, everyone would be falling down every minute like, oh, gravity just pulled me down. So what happened? To walk on water, he had to become spiritual. He had to look into the eyes of Jesus. And his mind had to be fixed on Jesus. It was only for that 1 minute when he saw the wind and the waves, and he saw how they were getting to billow against him, and he took his eyes off Jesus for that quick second, whoop, then all of a sudden, the thing that he had power over began to have power over him. And that's the word that the Lord has given to me for you people right now. All of you that call yourself members of the church, all of you that call yourself servants of the church, workers of the church, whatever part or aspect you play in the church and in the ministry, your mind has to be stayed on Jesus Christ. There is an evil spirit. The Lord spoke to me and he said, this thing that has come, Mattie, this demon has come to snatch people's mind, to snatch people's thought. And he said to me, he said, soul snatchers. He said, this thing that has come to take people right out of the kingdom. And many people don't even realize when they're taken out that they've been taken out. And he said, because why? These demons have come with one mission, one mandate, and one purpose: to snatch people's minds. And this is the reason why you saw people that once walked with you, once sat next to you. You don't see them no more. After all the miracles they've seen, after all the signs and wonders they experienced themselves, oil flowing on their hands, diamonds dropping right on them, crystals and diamonds dropping out of the heavenly realm right on in front of them. They picked up many of them. They've seen, heard us say, when you get to your house, you will know that angels were there. You will see the gold, or you will see these residue will be all over your bed. Or they've seen it all. What happened to them? Their minds were snatched. Their minds were manipulated. Their minds were shifted from a pathway to a different way. So it's now up to you as an individual. It's now up to you as a person, okay, to say, wait a minute. I need to align myself, and I need to position myself. I need to align myself. I need to position myself to hear and to know exactly what God's mind is concerning me, what His will is, what His purpose is, and to stay and to lock that coordinates in, to lock that mindset in, and to say, I will not shift to the left nor to the right, but I will stay on course. I used an example recently about the conductor of a railroad station and how the conductor of the railroad tracks is not riding in the train. He is nowhere in the train. He is in a station somewhere. And even though that man driving the train is in the train, the conductor is somewhere else in an off location. And that train, that tracks were built to go left, to go right, to go wherever it's supposed to go. And you could be on a track going. But when it's time now for that train to go in a different direction, the conductor who is in the railroad station will press a button. That track will close off. And now a new track will open up. And the train all of a sudden switches and goes in the direction of the new tracks that just opened up. It never stopped. It didn't slow down. It remained going at the same speed. Because it wasn't intended to stop. It was just intended to shift the direction that train was going in. And that's where many of you are today if you're not careful. That conductor can be the devil himself. That conductor, and the Lord showed me that the conductor is represented by the spirit of Jezebel. Jezebel works with the mind, manipulation, witchcraft. And many people's minds are being shifted. And some people don't even realize it because they say they're still on the train. I'm still in the church. I still go to church. What happened? I still pray. I'm still a Christian. But they don't realize that the soul snatcher demon. They don't realize that something pressed a button and shifted their whole heart from loving God the way they used to love God. They even going in a different county. They don't even know it yet. And some of them don't know it until they get where they going. Oh my God, I didn't even feel when the track shift. And by that time, it's too late because what? It's now destiny. They've landed and ended up in a totally different destiny or destination. And God is saying today, I don't want my people to keep ending up in the wrong destination. I want my people to stop ending up in the wrong destination. I want my people to end up and to come into the place where I designed for them to come into. And the only way that can happen is your mind, your heart, your soul, your desire. Everything have to be stayed on the Lord. If it's not stayed on the Lord, then you will discover that you will be easily shifted, you'll be easily shaken in your mind, and that shaken will cause you to be taken out. So it's now up to you to determine, am I a true servant? Am I a true armor bearer? Am I a true cup bearer? Am I a burden bearer? Am I a pall bearer? Because if you are a true servant bearer, a servant bearer is different from a pall bearer. You will pray for that leader. You will serve them whether they're present or absent. You will do exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You won't be tricky. Watch people whose minds start to get the better part of them. When they was poor, look at those people who come to the church. Look at yourselves. When you had nothing, when you didn't know what Guess and Gucci was, when you didn't know what, when you could only afford Walmart, you was fine. Now that you could see someone wearing something else, you say, I got to save my money because I got to get one of them. It means your heart is shifting. When people start looking around to the church and people start thinking, oh, I like that person. I want that person to be my girlfriend. Oh, I want that person. Your heart is shifting. Let God give you a wife. Let God give you a husband. If you have so much time that you could be sitting around, I wonder which one of them I should take. You're going to wonder yourself right into hell. But if you ask God to show you your wife or show you your husband, God will show you that person. And when the time is right, He will bring that to pass. Are you understanding? So I'm talking about, the servant now, the servant bearer, is that person who is sold out, dedicated, who is a weeper and a warrior. A weeper and a warrior. Every day the primary concern to them is God, His kingdom, His work, His mandate, His servants. And those are the people who respect and honor God with so much honor. They don't want to displease Him. They say, God, I don't want to displease you. With so much honor. Oh, God, I just want you to be glorified. So much honor. That's that type of person. But that person can only be discovered when they're willing to let go of this whole world and go after the Spirit of God. That person will be the best servant bearer a prophet or an apostle can ever have, because they become in awe of God. They don't worship the prophet or the apostle. They just become in awe of the God in that person. And they see them in higher state. So when people can argue with you and contend with you and disrespect you and disregard you or mishandle you or your things, that person should pray. They're losing the heart of a servant. I didn't have to deal with the matter of shifting my radio in my car. But the Holy Spirit said I should deal with it because you have no rights as a servant to touch your master's things. When you feel as if because your prophet is not present, you could go on in their fridge and just eat what you know is their portion, you're in trouble. Or she's not here, or he's not there. Let me borrow their shoes. You have gone past yourself. Are you understanding? Let me just do this or do that. Or you have lost all of your honor and respect. That person will never be able to receive from that prophet because they're feeling a sense of entitlement. After all I just did for you, then it should be okay for me. Man, I should be able to at least, be invited to come to your house for dinner. After what I just did, you know how much money I just saved the church? You know what I just did? You see this production, what I just did right here? If I was working on another job, if I was working for a production company, you know how much I was going to get paid for doing this right here? You know how much I should be being paid for singing on this praise team? You forgot where the gift came from. They begin to become full of pride and self-righteousness. And then they are no more. Soul snatcher demons. Take them out. In conclusion, lovest thou me more than these? That's what Jesus asked Peter. As a servant of God, you should love God more than you love anything else in the world. And then you should serve as servants. If people were serving, truly serving, we will be ripping and running and flying. We would take over the marketplace, the world. We will take over territories, dominions, domains. Listen here, they will say, there goes the kingdom. Oh my God, what was that just past here? Those were the kingdom people. That's when the children of Israel, oh my God, I feel the presence of God. The Bible said that when the people heard that Joshua, those were coming their way, they greatly feared. Why did they fear? Because Jericho could not come down. But they heard how God used Joshua those to bring Jericho down. And the kings of the Amorites feared when they heard that the children of Israel was coming their way next. Y'all hear me? They got scared. Why? Because these people moved. This prophet was moving with so much power back in him. And sure enough, when he got to them, he told the son, listen here, don't you dare go down and mourn over Ajalon. Don't you go up. He was moving with power, and the people believed in Joshua. I will close with this for real. When the people believe in their prophets, that's what I was saying to you all earlier. They're not going to let nobody else disrespect their prophets. They're not going to let nobody else, what would you say? No. This is prophet so and so. Where do you listen? But we have become so careless with our prophets that we did not realize that God was trying to get a blessing to us. That God was so now with the power that prophets should be walking in, they ain't walking in it because why? You, the people around them, don't even esteem them with that honor. That's why people could not understand Elisha with Elijah. Why you honor this man so much? He wasn't honoring him because he wanted what he had. He honored him because when he saw Elijah, all in the school of the prophets, all they talk about was Elijah, the God of Elijah. And Elijah was very rare. They didn't see him everywhere, every place, every time. He was a rare sighting. And when they saw him, they was like, oh my God, oh my God. The king had a hit out for Elijah. But when Elisha realized, he threw his mantle on me. When a pastor throws their mantle on you, brings you into their private space, into their sanctuary, into their home, into their cars, into their phone contacts, into their text box, they're giving you access to their mantle, to their life. Don't blow it. Don't abuse it. Don't misuse it. Don't feel like you were entitled to it because you weren't. One decision, one obedience or the lack thereof would have decided whether or not you was accepted or you was rejected. If you was accepted or if you was accepted, if that prophet was a different type of a person, they would have said, get away from here. Get away from here. Or give me the child. Get her out of here. I don't want nothing to do with her. Do you understand? But God, who was rich in mercy and plenteous in love, gathered you to himself. Regardless of your shortcomings, what is the difference between you and the person who out there right now praying one moment in the presence of the king or in the presence of the prophets? What made you so different? What made you so special? Grace. Then you should always hold on to grace. And you should never frustrate the grace. And you should never look upon that prophet in any kind of way. In any kind of way. You should look on that prophet and say, God, I thank you. You have favored me. And then, worst of all, not to be a downplay, but when you look at other people out there who are pastors or prophets and see that they are powerless, and you're walking with a prophet with power, you should clap your hands every day and say, thank you, Jesus. Lord, you didn't plant me over there. Thank you, Lord, you didn't plant me over there. Thank you, Lord, I'm planted here. Oh, my God. Because you can see real. You can see pure. You can see genuine. You also will see weakness. You will see weakness. You will see more than everybody else is seeing. I said you will see weakness. You will see their dilemma. And nobody else in the world sees it. But you will see it. But you have to be now like the son of Noah, Shem, and Japheth. And you have to walk backwards and cover that prophet or that apostle in prayer. And ask God to strengthen them in their weakness, that they will become stronger in him. And then because now you don't just want them operating in the power and in the gifts, but you want them to rise above their affliction or rise above whatever is troubling them or comes to trouble them after ministry or before ministry. You are there to move the burden, people of God. You are there to become a weeper and a warrior. You can't be so busy, distracted, fiddling papers always, doing what you do now. This is what I do. And you have not dropped your plate to pray. You have not been, there's got to be one day, 1 hour of the day where you say, God, I will pray unto you for my prophet, for my apostle. I feel their burden. I feel the passion. I feel what they're going through. You can't allow your soul to be snatched, your mind to be overtaken, not even for 1 minute. And anybody who try to get into that space, you got to be willing to fight them and fight against them and that demon spirit. Because it's trying to take you away and rob you and your children of your destiny. And it's trying to rob a nation and rob a people of their destiny. So that's why he said, fight the good fight. Be a weeper. Cry out for your prophet. Cry out for your apostle. Be a warrior. Fight in the realm of the spirit. And say, I refuse to let my prophet or my apostle die. I refuse to let them be sick. I refuse to let them be overtaken or worried by cares and distraction. If I can do it, I was planted here to do better. And if you get that mindset to fight, all the other names will fade away. All the other names will fade away. And you'll begin to see now the glory of the Lord will rise upon that prophet and upon that pastor, that apostle. And that person will become the greatest prophet or the greatest apostle the world has ever known. Because they would have known, they would have felt the prayers of their servants. They would feel the prayers of their armor bearer, cup bearer, burden bearer. And they'll feel the prayers of their servant bearer. The reason why the Lord said servant bearer is because everybody waiting on someone to say, you're my armor bearer. Forget armor bearer, that's a label. Forget cup bearer, that's a label. Become a servant bearer. And it is one who will bear the armors, who will carry the cup, who will throw the cloth, who will clean the church, who will push the vision, who will pray and intercede and travail for the ministry of that prophet. And their soul will never be snatched. He told Mary and Martha, Martha, Mary chose the good path. This is the path that will never be taken away from her. The path that is at the Master's feet. It ain't mean just sitting there and looking up in your prophet's face all day. It means being at the prophet's feet is serving. At the apostle's feet is serving. Is doing whatever it takes to intercede, to pray for them, and to take the burden and the weight off of them. That's what it means. And if you're willing to do that, you will see a good path will be given to you. And if you don't get it in your lifetime, you'll see your children. People be saying that this child is very peculiar. This child is very, oh my God, whose child is this? You'll see that a good portion was given to your children. You'll never be stingy again. You'll never be mean again. You cannot be somebody's armor bearer or servant bearer and you don't sow into their life. Hey, I bought a bottle of water for you. Hey, pastor, prophet, apostle, the Lord told me to be a blessing to you. I know it's only $10, but I just felt led to bless you. There are some people, I cannot tell you that I've ever seen, me personally seen a blessing coming from them. In their mind's eye, they give their offering and that's it. They give their tithes and that's it. They've never broken off a portion and said, prophet, this is for you. Apostle, this is for you. That person in my mind, in my spirit, is not a servant bearer. They're only here to take. They are takers. So, lovest thou me more than these? Yes, Lord. I love you, Peter responded. And Jesus answered him and said, then go feed my sheep. That feed my sheep there for you today is come. Let's help the prophet, help the apostle by doing what God anointed you to do so that we can all feed God's sheep. We can build God's kingdom. Karabashanda rabakishkida. Rababaka shotoroboko shikita. Imama mama kashiti ribosha. Ibaba basha baba mama manda ramashita.